We're back. I'm back. Jeez, I'm locked in. Welcome to the Locked In podcast. You've got me. You've got Jaiden for the next hour.
Yes, we're here. You're back.
I walked in 5 seconds. I walked in literally 10 seconds ago. That door shut 10 seconds ago.
We could be absolutely not locked in at all.
That's not. What a way!
I'm joking.
What a joke! What a joke to start us off.
Good little joke there, mate. How are you, mate? How was South Africa? You're
unbelievable.
back. Did you see the Big Five?
I saw the Big Five, so I'll run you through it. So we get there. It's a short trip. We were there for a week. But we got there. We got there on Friday night. We get back 8 hours on the way over there. So we landed at early mornings Friday last week. Maybe about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Took 3 hours to get to the accommodation that we were staying at. Drove, get there, and then we check in, do our thing, and we've got a game drive that night at 3 o'clock. So the way it worked is you had a morning and a night drive. The morning drive took off at 6 and lasted 3 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And then the night drive was 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and that would go until about 6:37, depending on what you saw. It was just incredible. The first thing we saw, we drove about 3 minutes out of the accommodation. Well, actually, the first day we got there, we checked into our hotel, and there were elephants at the fence right next to our thing, right next to our room, which the people at the hotel, and I don't know how serious they were about this, but they said that hasn't happened in 2 years. Really? Elephants being that close.
Really?
But I said, I reckon if I was a hotel manager trying to get my guests to enjoy their stay, I would have also told them that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to be able to know that. Anyway, it was very cool because they got literally from me to you away, and there was a fence in between them that if they wanted to, they could easily have just smashed. Anyway, that was cool. We then drove on the first game drive about 5 meters in, not 5 meters, about 3 minutes in, a couple of 100 meters on the left, massive white rhino. I was like, This is the coolest thing ever. Looking at this thing for about 20 minutes. Keep driving. And I thought at that point, so we all said when we were looking at these elephants from our room before we'd even done anything, we said this could be the coolest thing that we see. We were so wrong.
Yeah.
And get out there, and it just exceeded all expectations. We ticked a rhino off. So one of the Big Five we ticked off in about 3 minutes. The next four were, the Big Five are a rhino, elephant, leopard, lion, and water buffalo. Now, elephants we ticked off before we even got in the car. Rhino we ticked off 3 minutes in. Then we had buffalo, leopard, and lion. Now, I was of the assumption that there'd be buffalo everywhere.
Yes.
That was not the case over in this national park. What happens is there was only 88 of them on the whole reserve. There's not many buffalo there. And they typically live up north of the park, and they only come down every so often, very rarely. One of the guys who we spoke to there has been working there for 8 years and has only seen them 3 times.
Really?
Because they just sit up in a spot that you can't access through the roads. And so unless they migrate down for something, you're not going to see them.
So you got quite lucky then.
Very lucky. So
you've been lucky twice now.
Yeah. I've been lucky a few times actually. So we saw the lions firstly at night.
Yep.
Or we saw them from a while away.
Are they just everywhere over there?
No,
Are they
they're not.
all over the place?
No, so they're only in game reserves.
Right.
So we spoke to our guide about this. They've sort of herded them or shepherded them away, and with industry and whatever building up, and they've just sort of locked all the major animals. Yes, every now and again you might be able to get one that somehow escapes and gets into, It is just a cat at the end of the day. But yeah, for the most part, the animals are in the game reserves or in the open plains if you go into sort of more broader Africa.
Yep.
Anyway, we're there. We've got we see the way that it works when you're talking about visual. So in these parks, you're in the car, the guides at the front, they're all on the radio, and if they see anything, it's just communication. They're gonna you find out where to go and you go and see this thing. They call the the visual. They give you a 1. It's a visual rating from 1 to 5 when they're calling things in.
Okay.
So a 1 out of 5 is I can see an elephant a kilometre away on a hill. I can point out to you, you can see that it's the outline. That's definitely an elephant. So there's a 1 out of 5.
Yep.
A 5 out of 5 is the thing is sitting right next to your car. So it's walking on the road in front of you and you can see it from 5 metres away.
Yeah,
that's a 5 out of 5.
Okay.
So we got, with the exception of, we got a 5 out of 5 for most things. We got really close to a lot of things. The leopard, was probably a 3 out of 5. Like, we saw it. It wasn't that far away.
Yep.
But it was in a bush. And so, like, you could see it moving. I've got a couple of photos of it. And then it just goes away. They're really notoriously hard to find because they're very stealthy and they don't like people.
Yep.
The lion we saw on the road in front of us. So that was a 5 out of 5. The elephants we saw crossing in front of us like heaps, which was just ridiculous. So that was a 5 out of 5. The rhinos were 5 out of 5. We saw a couple. We had this mum and baby rhino literally 5 meters in front of us having a drink, and then they were just like staunching us, looking at us. It was really cool.
Yeah.
The what else did we see that was a 5 out of 5? The cheetah. Oh my god.
Cheetah.
It was crazy.
Mate,
so there's
that photo you sent through to me
it was insane.
Unreal.
There's 5 cheetahs in the whole game park. And the guy at the start said, so I didn't think there was any there.
Yep.
And he said at the start, he's like, yeah, these, there's not many cheetahs. There's a couple. Because I saw it, I saw on the board when you walked into the hotel, it like showed you a couple of animals and one of them was a cheetah. I asked him about it and he said, yeah, there's 5 here. They're not like that. They're very uncommon to see. It's been, he reckons it was 4 or 5 months since he'd seen the last one. Anyway, we get out there and we've seen this lion. So this lion, male lion, and its mum and 2 cubs were laying on the road. The cubs were playing. The mum and the 2 cubs pissed off right into the bush. The male stayed there. And at this point, because it was like, that's a pretty cool sighting. Lions, are like when you call something in, leopards are the one. Like if you see a leopard and that gets called in, cars will come from everywhere to come and see it.
Yep.
Lions, the next big one, which I thought lions would have been number 1, but like because of the rarity of leopards, they get called in and like people are scramming to come and see them. Anyway, this lion was active. It was morning. Not a lot had happened so far. They'd seen this lion active. They called it in. We were the first ones to come from this side. Everyone was coming from that side. So there was like, I'm talking 20, 30 cars lined up there, a couple now behind us to see these lions. Lion, mum, and cubs piss off right. The male lion stays there. Now, the male lion is the cool one to see. So a lot of people stay to see that. Our tour guide, who was he was the king. Sibu, his name was. He was the guy. He was like, I reckon if we go up and around the corner here, this mum lion and her cubs, that's the way they're tracking. So they might cross the road over there. Beautiful. No worries. We go, we turn right. We're now parked by ourselves. Another car comes and pulls in front of us. Same idea. Everyone else you can see. There's still 30 cars back over there looking at the male. Anyway, Em's brother, Ben, looks out into the scrub and he's like, oh my God, I can see it. And it's like you can see this head moving through the scrubs, ducking below, then coming up and you can sort of see it.
Whoa.
And like Sibu goes, don't point at it. Where is it? He locked eyes with it. He said, don't point because then everyone else will know and it will scare it because the cars will come up. So he called it in. This thing, like, all of a sudden, like, jumps out in front of the car with its 2 cubs running behind it, checks the road. The cubs play around on the road for a bit. The mum then pisses off left. It was like, oh my God, that was so cool. We've seen these lions at a 5 out of 5 in front of us.
That's unreal.
It was amazing. Then we turn around to go back. And M looks out to the right in the scrub, and like we're all just sort of chilling. Next thing, this impala, which is a deer, there's heaps of them floating around.
Yep.
This impala has just emerged, like frantic, and then has literally jumped across the 6-meter road in the air, nearly jumped in the back seat of the car.
Seriously?
It was like, oh shit, this thing's gone bang, 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 jumped over. And it was like something scared it. So we thought maybe lions. We turned to the right, and M goes, oh my God, Sibu, it's a leopard. And it was so crazy because he said at the start, if you see something, don't go, don't, like, you have to stay calm, just speak. And anyway, M was the last person I thought would stay calm in that situation, but literally she stood up and she goes, oh my God, Sibu, it's a leopard. Very calm. Looked in there. I saw it too, just this spotted thing moving.
Yeah.
He saw it as well. And then he called it in. Next minute, literally like 20 seconds later, all these cars starting to sort of come towards us, and this cheetah jumps out behind the car and starts moving along the road. So we were like, holy fuck. We thought it was a leopard. Now it's a cheetah. You can tell the difference in the tail. Okay. So the leopard has a white tail, cheetah has a black tail. Spots are pretty similar. Leopard's a bigger, stockier cat.
Right,
anyway,
did not know that.
This thing is just cruising down next to us. Like literally, and because we're the first ones there, all the cars are coming from the other way. We're following this leopard in neutral, rolling down the hill. This cheetah. And everyone else is moving for it and us. So we're just following this thing, looking at it from 5 meters away as it's just running down, walking down. It then gets on the pillar, this rock pillar.
Yep.
And it's like, that shows directions in the game park. And it just sat up there for like 5-10 minutes. And it was the coolest thing I've ever seen. This just massive cheetah that could rip my eyes out if it wanted to was just sitting on this rock pillar. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That is unbelievable.
So
I'll see if I can get a photo up of that because I've got.
Yeah,
you've sent one to me.
I sent you a photo of that. So that was the cheetah. So we saw a lion and a cheetah in the same 5 minutes. It was the craziest 5-minute patch of all time. Everyone was pumped, excited. The adrenaline was up. Then that day I went and played Sun City, the golf course.
Yep.
Shit house. No, it was a beautiful course. I shot 99. It was so bad.
Yeah, if you want to find out more of that, you can go on the swing of it.
Go on the swing of it.
Because that was caught live there.
Yeah. And then I came back. We went back out that night. This was Tuesday. And we saw we had thought we'd seen a leopard. We hadn't seen a leopard. At this point, I was thinking, so we ticked off two of the big five, only rhino and elephant. And lion, sorry, 3 of the big 5. We needed leopard and buffalo. And I was like, oh, geez, that was our one chance. If, I thought we'd seen a leopard, we hadn't. Anyway, we get to the night, we're driving down, and Sibu had told us, he's like, leopards will typically, that's the cheetah. Look at that thing.
That is unreal.
Just sitting on this pillar. It was crazy. And it sat there for 10 minutes. All these cars were looking at it. It was just so cool. And then it pissed off into the trees. And even at a very slow canter, the thing was lightning quick.
Really?
Well, yeah, obviously. Fastest animal in the world.
No, I'm not surprised.
But yeah, it was so cool. So that night then, Sibu said, leopards will typically sit or they'll be near rocks, or granite rocks or syenite rocks that have soaked up the heat during the day. They'll typically like to lie on those, so maybe look for them. Anyway, there was a turn of events that had to happen. And I looked back on this and I was like, this was just, it was magic that this happened. So we were late coming back from golf because of you have to drive slowly over potholes.
Yep.
The girls were late coming back from lunch. So we were meant to leave at 3:30 that day. We didn't leave until 4:15 onto the drive. We went straight to this place. As we were driving around the corner, all these little things, the guides there, the rangers are unbelievable. They tell you everything, all the little details about the park, all the flora, the fauna, every animal.
Yep.
Anyway, we drove past this bird that we'd never seen. It was this tiny little bird that had reflecting blue. It was a black bird, but its wings reflected the light and it looked blue. Anyway, we stopped and looked at that for about 2 minutes.
The lilac-breasted roller, would that be?
Could have been the lilac-breasted roller.
Pretty common bird over there.
A very common bird over there.
Avid bird.
You're a bird watcher.
We are,
anyway, yeah. So then, we stopped and looked at that. We drove around the corner. We stopped to look up at some rocks to see if we could see anything. We couldn't. We drove a little bit more, and we stopped. We saw a giraffe. We stopped and looked at the giraffe for a little bit. We drove for a little bit more, and Sibu goes, just give me a second while I look up in the rocks, because he was much better at seeing it than us.
Yep.
At which point, so we'd stopped 4 times in the last...
Sibu just looking at rocks?
Yeah, 4 times in the last 10 minutes. We'd stopped for about a minute each. We were late 45 minutes getting there. And Sibu had stopped to say, give me the binoculars, I'm going to look up in here. At which time, M again just goes, oh my God, that's a leopard. Looks to the left, and lo and behold, there is an actual leopard, not a cheetah anymore. There's a genuine leopard sitting there. And it's just sitting, its head is there, and you can see that it's got a white tail. So Sibu was like, yeah, that's a leopard. Anyway, and we were miles by ourselves. No one was nearby. We look at this thing, it stands up in the grass, it's walking along. You can see its stocky, thick head, its back, its spots, its white tail, and then it sort of walks and turns away and goes the other way. So we didn't see it for very long. It was probably a 3 out of 5 visual, because it was close enough that you could definitely, it was only 25 meters away.
Yeah.
But it was into thick cover of grass, so it was tough to see. Anyway, we then looped back around. We called it in. We looped back around to the other side of the mountain, and you're looking back up, and this now we're 200-300 meters away. Just trying, because we thought it would be walking back down that way.
Yep.
And then for the next half an hour, we're just looking at grass, because we saw it a couple of times. Move, duck back under grass. Move, duck back under grass. For 30 minutes, we're just looking at the grass. It was so exhilarating. It's like the hunt, and you're sitting there looking at this thing. We looked at a tree for 20 minutes, convinced that was a leopard, and it didn't move. But that's definitely it. In binoculars, I can't really see. Yeah, I can see it move. Everyone's convincing each other that they can see this thing move. At which point, the leopard had obviously gone, and we hadn't seen it again.
Yeah.
But that was an hour of just, this was so cool. So we ticked, that was 4 of the big 5.
What's the last one you've got to go?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Hadn't got buffalo.
Yeah.
At this point, we were like, I don't really care if we see anything else. So this was Tuesday night. We still had Wednesday and Thursday. And I was like, I don't care if I see nothing else for this trip. I've literally seen everything that I need to. I've seen a giraffe walk in front of the car. I've seen rhinos. I've seen elephants.
Timon and Pumbaa by any chance?
I got a Pumbaa, not a Timon. There's not many.
Really?
Not many meerkats in South Africa. They're more sort of
I would have thought that it was more meerkats than...
We saw a mongoose.
Pumbas.
We saw a mongoose that I thought looked like a Timon, but he said, no, Timon's a meerkat. They're
just
sort
a cousin of Timon,
they're sort of up a bit more. We saw one Pumbaa. I thought there were heaps of Pumbas running around. Anyway, that was, but we'd seen everything else. And I was like...
Pumbas are too quick, mate.
Yeah, too quick. They are very quick.
Very quick.
We'd seen a cheetah. We got lucky enough to see a cheetah. We saw lions playing at night. We saw them running around in the day. We saw a leopard finally. We'd seen elephant crossings. We'd seen rhino crossings. We'd seen zebras from afar. We hadn't really seen them close until the last day, which was really cool.
Yeah, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 visual of a zebra.
Elite.
But then it was like water buffalo. We'd seen the wildebeest, which are the ones that killed Mufasa, so I was pretty flat about that.
Yeah, did you take any down for him?
No, we drove past him, I gave him the
word.
finger and said, fuck you guys. And I think he appreciated that.
Oh,
but yeah, it was the water buffalo was the only thing we hadn't seen, and because I'd heard from our guides that it was like these things very rarely come down. They're up north at the Kruger National Park, which is a different one. There's heaps of them. You see them everywhere.
Yeah, not rare,
but not rare at all. But this one, it's like it's a bit of an anomaly.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so I'd resigned to the fact that we weren't going to see them. Anyway, so Wednesday morning we go out, we see some cool stuff. We've got, we drive past. There's zebras pretty close to us. We see them. That was maybe a 3 out of 5. Then we get a call being like, the buffalo are down. And we're like, in what fucking world have we waited till the second last day and there's buffalo for the first time in like 2 months or however long it had been since they'd even shown themselves? We go there. The buffalo was like, it was a 2 out of 5 visual, maybe a 1 out of 5. You can see them from, a couple of 100 meters away. You can see their backs. They're different than the wildebeest. You can see them. And it's like, okay, sweet. I've ticked it off. That was cool. Then the next cool thing we saw, like the next thing from there was the zebras. We saw them up close. But then was just we saw hippos up close, pretty close too. It was just like, at no point, even without seeing things, you're cruising around Africa. And I was thinking when I was there, I was like, it's not too dissimilar from just cruising around the Australian bush. Because, like, the grass looks the same, the trees look pretty similar. You just feel like you're out in the countryside and running through some bush.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's a leopard.
All of a sudden
there's
a cheetah. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, there could be a kangaroo there, but instead of a kangaroo, I'm looking at a rhino.
Yeah.
And it's just, it was wild. It was wild. And every time I was out there, I was like, I said to myself, I'm not expecting anything here. So that's what our guide said. And they're all into their juju and stuff over there. And they're it's very much... trust and, respect the land and it'll look after you. And he said to us on day one, he's like, when people come in here and are like, Sibu, I want to see this, I want to see that, I want to see that, sometimes the bush will just say, nah, not today, and give you nothing. And he's like, if you come in and don't really mind and just want to experience and have fun, he's like, it'll turn it on. And so that was the mindset that we all had, was let's just let the safari, let the game drive do its thing, and it just put it on in spades for us. It was phenomenal.
Unreal. And you were on the safari the whole time? Like, that's where you kind of were? You lived out of there?
We lived on the game park. It was a 30-second drive to turn right into a private gate that took us onto the reserve, and it was just incredible. Unbelievable. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done. Like, it's hard to quantify, but I said it was in the top 5 things I've ever done. Ever. Like, I've played one game of AFL football. That was really cool. They're very different, but like my top 5 overall experiences, this is in there for my whole life. There's heaps of things. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was in my top 5. Top 5 all-time
moments
things.
of your life.
Yeah, top 5 moments of my life.
That's unreal.
Is like, it's right up
top
there.
5 experiences.
Top 5 experiences.
Unreal.
And for anyone, we stayed, the place we stayed, Em's dad and her stepmom booked it. And like, that was very lovely. And it was, very super grateful. It was a bit of I don't think it would be something that I would pay for myself to go and do to that one because it was just too nice for for me, if I was to go and pay for it myself.
Yeah. But you just take the back alley safari. I got photos of leopards and stuff.
Yeah, you don't need to. The place we stayed at, the Ivory Tree Game Lodge, was amazing. And it was just like, the staff were perfect. Everything was great. But that's the expensive side of things. But you can still do it at an entry level and just get there and go to I recommend everyone do it. at some point, if you can. If you've got the facilities to go over to South Africa and do a safari, or any part of Africa, I imagine. But it was the coolest thing ever. It was so good.
Oh, mate.
But yeah,
I'm
that was me for a
incredibly
week.
jealous of your experience.
Yeah, that was me for a week.
So let's move away from South Africa, because that's you for a week.
Yeah, that was me for a week.
Last week we said...
Missed a bit.
Yeah. Last week, we on the Hammers Happy Hour, we missed something big that we kind of teased that we were going to do.
Yeah.
So we said... If you're not on Instagram and you don't follow us on Instagram, you would have missed this, what we put out. We did get a bit of feedback on YouTube about it. Yeah. So our thumbnail on YouTube last week was Hammer takes on Kane Cornes, or something like that, right? It was the worst take of all time.
Kane Cornes put out 15 things.
Yeah, the most overrated list in sports. We didn't talk about that once.
We didn't even mention.
Not a single
We did not
time.
mention Kane Cornes one time.
And if you're wondering what's going on there, go and look at our last week's thumbnail, because
Hammer takes on
like,
Kane. Yeah, that makes sense.
The worst take of all time. Big picture of Kane Cornes there.
Yeah.
No, didn't say it.
So we didn't mention Kane one time last week.
No, but the funny thing was that he must have seen that thumbnail, because then he went and took a week off media. So
yeah,
he's had a big break. So he must have seen that thumbnail and just gone.
Doesn't he have to apologise to someone?
Yeah, I think us. For letting us down. That's fine. We actually let you down, Kane.
We did. I'm sorry,
Kane. So I thought, why don't we talk about this?
Yeah, this is what I was going to have a go at.
Yeah.
So Kane did a countdown on Sports Day, and it was the overrated things in sport. His top 15 overrated things in sport. I looked at this and I was like, that's the worst take ever. The worst take ever. Not all of them, but some of them.
I am looking at this from the point of view, like, you look at it and you go, yeah, look, some things actually are overrated. He's not saying they're bad.
Yeah.
They're just overrated. But these, I don't think a lot of these are overrated.
No. Okay, so...
State of Origin.
So let's go down the list. Let's go 1 to 15.
Yeah, let's go 1 to 10. 1 to 15.
State of Origin is a fucking awesome, phenomenal spectacle. Doesn't matter if... I don't really watch rugby league at all.
Don't really care too much about league or rugby, but State of Origin,
I will watch the State of Origin.
That.
And it's like... As a sports fan, it can't not be... Like, that's not overrated at all. No. We want State of Origin back for football because of that. Because of how good the NRL State of Origin
exactly
is.
Right.
They care about it. They want to die for it. It's like the most important thing other than playing in a grand final is playing State of Origin, and you can feel it. The energy's amazing. If you ever get a chance to go to one, go to one. It is just so good. So I don't know why that's the number one.
Perfectly.
I think it's perfectly rated.
That is number one on the list of perfectly rated things.
Perfectly rated things.
Perfectly rated things.
State of Origin is number one.
Yes.
Brownlow red carpet, I can take or leave.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. But again, like we spoke to Rach. Rach loves the Brownlow red carpet.
People love it. For Kane, this is again for Kane. It's overrated.
And I agree with
I'm happy with that at number 2.
Yeah.
Mad Monday dress ups.
Mad Monday dress ups.
No.
Kane.
Okay.
Good. Mad Monday dress ups don't go as anything racist or like derogatory. Probably is the number one thing because people are getting caught out about that.
Yes.
Maybe but like if you go, first years all have to go in a dress. Or you go as famous duos. I go as Timon, you go as Pumbaa. It's like that sort of stuff. Or, there's all these sorts of dress-ups you can have that are good and funny.
Really
good.
Like,
it makes the day.
And the experience is like the bonding alone.
Like Geelong's Mad Monday dress-ups are awesome. And it's like, that is a shit take.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Love Mad Monday dress-ups.
I agree. Mad Monday dress-ups is unreal.
4.
I think maybe Kane's been like to a bad Mad Monday dress-up.
Maybe.
Or he's just like, he's got stitched up on a Mad Monday.
Yeah, Kane was like, as his first year, all right, guys, everyone has to come dressed like this, and he's the only bloke there. And it's like, well, sweet.
Yeah,
now I feel like
I hate Mad Monday now.
Yeah, you have to come in a diaper, and that's it. Nah, sweet.
Gatorade showers.
Kane. Now, to Kane's credit, he played a lot of football. Lots of football. Would have only had a couple of Gatorade showers in and amongst heaps of games. Debut and milestones.
Yes.
Like, apart from that, you're not in the
But he would have been a part of a lot of
He would have been a part of a lot of them. Only having played one game of AFL football and won that game and was in a Gatorade shower, it's the best thing ever. There is nothing, as a player playing their first game and you win, there is nothing more exciting or exhilarating than the feeling of being in the middle of the circle, singing the song and having all your teammates pour Gatorade on you.
Yep.
It's the best thing ever. And yes, Kane, you played a lot of games, so you wouldn't have had to do it many times after, but it's just the best.
Yes.
Having no other experience other than that, it's the pinnacle of the game for me. It was like, yeah, sweet, winning and playing, and I got a kick and didn't get many. but like that was just
to be a part of a Gatorade shower.
To be a part of the Gatorade shower. The boys were like, take your boots off because they're going to you ruin them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the coolest thing. And it's like very stereotypical and exactly what you expect, but he's just amazing. You're all sticky. It's just like you won. And it's all about you for a small minute, but it's cool and awesome and it's great.
Yeah.
So that's a shit
Gatorade shower, perfectly rated.
Perfectly rated.
Yeah,
Drafting
really
a ruckman, I actually kind of agree with Kane here. I think ruckmen take far too long to develop. Wait 5 years, get one from the state league or get one from another club who's behind a star. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like,
yeah.
You know, look what Hawthorn did. They went and got Lloyd Meek from Freo because he couldn't get a game. Sweet.
Yep.
Who else? Who else has done that?
Max Gorn was drafted.
Max Gorn was drafted. Yeah, but there's a few that are drafted. But, like, again, you draft them and it just takes 5 or 6 years to build them up.
Yeah.
So I would look elsewhere.
He wasn't the best ruckman in the world coming into.
No, he wasn't.
But he is now.
He is, correct. But I'm happy with that.
Yeah, don't mind that. Tennis on TV.
Oh, Kane. That's a shocking take. Yeah. That is a shit take. He may be comparing it to live tennis, which is good, but live tennis at let's call it an Australian Open, you can only watch one match at a time.
Yep.
There are heaps going on. Yep. You put the telly on and there's the tennis, you can go between Margaret Court Arena, you can go to the back court, you can go to Rod Laver Arena. You can see all the matches. And then watching an Australian Open final is unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, and I don't really love tennis. I won't go and watch Wimbledon or the US Open or Roland Garros.
Yeah, sure, but the Australian Open, you're watching that.
Exactly. I don't care about tennis. I don't know I don't know more than half the players. I reckon I could name 4 active tennis players now that Roger and Rafa are retired. I reckon I could name 4.
Go.
Red Foo. I think he's an active tennis player now. I'm pretty sure. What's the Sinner?
Great.
Alex Sinner? Is that him?
Yannick Sinner.
Yannick Sinner, not Alex. Carlos Alcaraz.
Yep.
Sabalenka.
Sure. Yep.
And then who did she beat in the final? Kyrgios. Is he still playing?
Yeah, he's still playing.
Okay, well, there's 4.
Yeah.
That's
great. No, but that exactly proves your point.
Exactly. But I would watch that on the TV, and it is just... It's really, really good. Yeah. So I'm happy with tennis on TV.
Yeah. NBA dunk contest.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Do you watch many of that?
Nah, not anymore.
It's
shit
I
now.
agree with him now. It's overrated.
Shit now.
Yeah, it's
overrated
not
now.
that great.
Happy with that.
It used to be really good.
Yep. It used to be really good.
Yep.
Overrated now.
Ice baths.
I think they're really good for you, but I think they are, as an overrated thing, I think they're
overrated, yeah. Compression boots, again, really, really good. Like, they're good for you, but overrated. I feel like those two, ice bath and compression boots, have been hijacked by, like, influencers and people on social media being like, do this routine and it'll change your life. Like, shut up. Yep, I agree with that.
Get a nice bath, be cold.
This one is huge. This one is massive.
This is the worst take.
Test. This is the worst take of all time.
The worst take of all time, Boxing Day test. Kane Cornes, the worst take that's on this 15 is that. The Boxing Day test is the best sporting day in Australia outside the grand final and Melbourne Cup, I think.
Melbourne, I would put it above Melbourne Cup.
Maybe, yeah. But
big
maybe.
cricket guy, though.
Yeah, and I just think the Australian grand final and NRL grand final, if you're an NRL fan, is awesome. But the Boxing Day test is just like day one, ball one, 90,000 in the MCG.
Yep.
It's just phenomenal. There's nothing to not love. You have a full day.
First ball wicket.
You have 3 sessions to sit in the sun and drink beer and watch cricket. It does not get better.
Boxing Day test going to is on the bucket list for so many Australians. I don't think you can overrate something like that. You can't overrate something like that. I agree.
No. I agree.
That goes hand in hand with Cam Green. Cam Green, local WA product.
In what word is he
not overrated at all.
He's just injured.
Yeah.
Kane. Yeah, that's a real bad test.
Very bad. Pat McAfee.
Do I even know who that is?
Yeah, he's the US guy. Does NFL stuff, like really big media guy.
Oh, actually, I think I do know him.
Yeah,
overrated for mine.
The Pat McAfee show.
Yeah, I don't really know him, so I'm happy with the way he's rated.
Yep.
Cycling, I don't think is cycling rated?
I kind of think cycling is a bit overrated.
No, but is it rated at all?
I don't think it's rated at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, actually, no, that's a good point.
Is it? It's not overrated because it's not really rated.
Yep,
is
I
it?
agree.
So I'm happy with where
I
think cycling is rated.
I don't think you should even put it on a list.
I think cycling is rated where it should be.
Yeah, which is not rated at all.
It's not great.
No.
It's like a few people really love it. I know some guys that will ride heaps.
Yeah.
But not everyone loves it. So I'm happy with the way cycling's rated.
With that.
The SCG? What a weird thing to have on the overrated list. I think it's overrated at the moment because Sydney suck. And, there's not a lot of fanfare to it. But, the Glenn McGrath, the pink test at the SCG, unbelievable.
Yep.
Like, when Buddy Franklin kicked his 1,000th, the MCG. The SCG.
Yeah, storm the ground.
Storm the ground. I think that's a bad take.
I
don't think it's. But the
SCG for me kind of falls into the same category as cycling, where I don't think it's rated. Like it's rated fine. I don't think it's overrated or underrated. Yeah, it's just the.
It's
SCG.
no Adelaide Oval. It's no Adelaide Oval.
No, the hill. You can't go past the hill.
And then the Sydney to Hobart again. That is something that I think is just like properly rated. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of people are into sailing.
Yeah.
And if you are, then great. So I don't really. There's a few on there. So a few on there that I just don't care about. I think are just as rated as they are.
Yeah.
I think his good takes on that drafting a ruckman. I think the NBA dunk contest, ice baths, compression boots. I think they're overrated, so I'm happy with that. But NRL State of Origin, actually the Brownlow Red Carpet falls into the former category.
Yep.
NRL State of Origin, Mad Monday dress-ups, Gatorade shower, tennis on TV, Boxing Day test, Cam Green are some of the worst takes. Yeah. As being overrated, I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I was livid, especially at the Gatorade shower one. God, it was good. But anyway, that's what we were meant to do last week.
Yep, and
we didn't
so
mention,
you're welcome, everyone. We've covered it now. So.
Once.
Good.
Literally didn't mention it a single time.
No, not a single time. Anyway, glad we got to that.
Yeah, he took a week off after.
He did take a week off after releasing this list.
Now he's got to apologise.
He's going to come back with the most Kane's Countdown, the most rated things in sport. The Tassie Devils could be gone.
Oh my God!
Have you seen this?
I have seen this. This came across my feed while I was away.
Yeah.
I think
doing a vote of no confidence over there. What's going on in Tasmania?
I think it's like a matter of they just want the money to go elsewhere because it's going to cost them like $1 billion or something.
Yes.
So it's going to cost a shitload of money, and that money could be better spent on education, on the hospital systems, on other things.
Yeah.
Instead of putting $1 billion into a glass-roofed stadium.
Yes.
But I just Nick Rewalt's been hard on this about it could be the biggest mistake that Tasmania has ever made, and I sort of agree. What place isn't better for having a football NG Stadium? No one really goes there. But having Tasmania is a football state. It's not a massive state, but it is still football.
Yeah, it's a football state.
And a very much a sporting state. And Tassies will jump on their local team with pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Jack Jumpers went through the roof when they came into the NBL. The Tassie Devils have the fifth most members in the world of any sport ever.
Yeah.
Because of, obviously, it was $5 and whatever. But this will be such a misstep if they just say no to this. I couldn't believe that it hadn't been given the green light already. A weird thing to be, we're launching this whole club, getting CEOs, getting people on board.
Yeah, the most members in Australia, blah, blah, blah.
Without are they going to have to refund those members if this doesn't go up?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Are they going to have to send that $5? Because they've probably already spent it.
Yep.
They've
definitely already spent the money.
Maybe it was a non-refundable deposit.
Oh, geez, I hope they put a little asterisk down there to say that. Maybe the Busso Sharks, maybe?
Yeah, it could be the Busso Sharks.
The Bunbury Bears?
The Bunbury Bears, isn't that our...
that might be
the Western Bears.
Western Bears.
The Perth Bears. Yeah, but I've seen that. That'd be just ridiculous if that doesn't happen. And that's meant to happen in a month, I think.
Yes, yeah.
So I think it's
I think
both...
the vote of no confidence has happened already.
Yeah, vote of no confidence happened already.
And then they're going to go through that whole, So next month, mate.
What I thought, and I could be wildly off the pace here. I thought the leader of both parties was wanted it to happen. The vote of no confidence came through as a majority vote of the whatever parties they were. I think the opposition leader down there, I think his party are going to win this coming election. And so then all the pressure's now on him to convince everyone else to get it across the line in a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but that's
probably.
I'm not a big politics guy, but I'm into this.
Yeah,
this is exciting.
Yeah, you're watching this. It's
yeah,
I don't know. That's a weird one.
What else?
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Kane Cornes back to Kane. He's now 4-0 with going into the rooms pre-game with his teams. So I think he was there last night at the Hawks pre-game.
Yeah, was he working? I missed the start of the Hawks one.
But yeah, when he goes into a room pre-game, so all this ban on Kane Cornes coming into the room, he's not lost. A team hasn't lost when he's been in there. So maybe that's something to think of.
Yeah.
But yeah, footy
North
last
Melbourne
night.
still aren't letting him in.
Nah, not
Yeah, the Eagles will have him though because they'll win this game. Obviously,
They just won't. I don't think. But anyway, that's coming up on the weekend.
That's coming up.
The footy last night.
Footy last night.
So I was away, and you can't stream KO over there. You can listen to the AFL app, which I did. So I listened to this game on Triple M, the Hawks Bulldogs game.
Yeah.
But the Hawks just ran away with it. And for a team that they were the underdogs going into the game, they were, they'd been in a rough patch of form, and the Bulldogs were white hot.
Yeah, they were.
Hawks just belted them.
I tipped Hawks.
Did you?
I thought they were going to win this one. I tipped them to win by 12, and they won by a bit, like 20 or something like that. So
That's a pretty good tip.
I just thought the Hawks were going to bounce back from what they did last week.
Yeah.
And the week before that, where they've just not really stood up in the pressure. And I thought the Bulldogs weren't going to come into this game with the right mindset, I guess.
Well,
I just had a feeling that the Hawks were going to respond really well. Like Sam Mitchell, I don't think is one to lose too many in a row.
No, they're certainly not. But looking at Hawthorn, and what I didn't actually, so I got the tip right because I was away and didn't enter my tip, so I got the away. I got the away team. I got the away team. So I actually got this tip right. But if you look back over the last 3 weeks, Hawthorn lost to Gold Coast by 8 points.
Yep.
In Darwin.
Yep.
So that's an honourable loss. They lost by 33 points to Brisbane at the MCG, who are the reigning premiers, and the last game that they won there was the grand final, so they know how to play at the G.
Yeah.
And yes, that's a 6-goal loss, but it's to the best team in the comp.
Yep.
Or the second best team in the comp. Last week, they got pantsed by Collingwood, who are the best team in the comp at the moment.
Yeah.
So they lose by 50. So they lost by a lot, but again, against the best team in the comp. So they've played the 3 best temes in the competition in the last 3 weeks and lost.
Yeah. And then
had lost all of them. And so then the pressure was on, are these guys good or whatever? And now they bounce back and win. So, yeah, I just think they've got... And next week they've got Adelaide. So, their 5-week stretch of Gold Coast, Brisbane, Collingwood, Bulldogs, Adelaide, bye. That's the hardest 5 weeks in the game at the moment. That's literally, with the exception of Geelong, and now the Bulldogs we've knocked them back down. But, they're playing the top 4 in 5 rounds. So their run is tough.
Yeah, they do have a tough run.
So I think I'm happy with where they're at. I think they are somewhat back.
I would agree with that. I think the Bulldogs are a really good team, and I just haven't seen them inside the top 8 in a while.
Yeah,
they're just
right.
constantly sitting outside the top 8.
They're constantly just winning or just losing games. Yeah. And it's they should be really good.
They should be really good.
They smacked Essendon, and they won that game by 100 points. Their percentage...
is 122.1.
Yeah, so their percentage is...
really good.
Yeah. They're the 5th best percentage in the comp.
Yep.
And they're sitting 9th.
It just... Bulldogs feel inconsistent.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put them, I think.
And it's hard to tip inconsistent teams. Like Bulldogs feel a bit like Fremantle. Should be good.
Should be good, but aren't good at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Fremantle had a really good win against Gold Coast.
Had a great win against Gold Coast.
That was
huge.
One of the best games they've played.
Yeah. Anyway, there is footy on tonight, actually, in probably 30 minutes, 20 minutes. So let's get to this real quick.
Get in.
You've got the touch.
You got the power. Yeah.
You know, it was weird doing this on Monday. No one sung the "You've Got the Power" part, so I actually heard what the guy was singing, how his voice sounded. And
do you want to just play it again, and I won't say anything?
You've got the touch.
I feel like mine's better.
Yeah, I agree. I think he goes a little bit too high in that "You've Got the Power" bit, but
So look, last week we went the Hail Mary 7-leg multi.
We did, and we were so close.
We were so close.
So close.
The overs killed us.
Yeah, it did.
So Carl Amon got 20, Scott Pendlebury got 20, Nick Dacos got 25, Josh Ward had 15, Dan Houston had 15, Steele Sidebottom had 15, and we went overs 169.5.
Yeah, I think Hawthorn to shit the bed like that wasn't on my bingo list.
And so 169.5, the total score was 163.
Yeah.
So we lose by a goal.
Literally.
And it's like, Hawthorn had 56 points, 8 goals, 8, Collingwood 16 goals, 11. All we need is one of those or 2 of those goals to go our way and we win the bet. Yep. Anyway, that's okay. It just showed me that, hey, we're on the money here. We're around the mark.
Yep.
This week I've just dialed it in I've gone a different route. So last week we went a bit more of a shopping list. 7 legs, let's tick them off. This week I've gone 3 legs only.
You've cut it back a bit.
I've cut it back, but the value's there.
4 legs off.
The value is there. So, Adelaide play Brisbane tonight. My initial thoughts on this game, by the way, before we continue, is that Brisbane are going to win. And
where are they playing?
They're playing at Adelaide Oval, but Brisbane are the reigning premiers. Adelaide are going well.
But Brisbane also drew with North.
Yeah, but North are the best team in the comp. So I think Brisbane are going to go over there and win. And if not, they're going to cover the line, which is 19.5. So I was going to put the Brisbane at the line in there. I've left Brisbane out. So there's no scoring, there's no result in this.
Okay.
But because I think Brisbane are going to win, I think Charlie Cameron's going to kick at least 2 goals. I think he's a dangerous small forward. Mm-hmm. He's coming up against Adelaide, who have got very good key defenders. But I feel like he can get on top of their smalls and he can get ahead of the football to kick at least 2 goals.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I like
it. I like it.
I feel like he's...
Yeah, I feel like he could pop up and kick 2 for sure.
He's one of the most dangerous small forwards in the competition. I feel like his form this year has just been like he's been there or thereabouts. He's kicked a lot of points. Last week against against Essendon, he kicked 1. So that's not 2. But that's okay. Against Hawthorn the week before that, he went out and booted 3. So that would have ticked off in the bet. The week before that, against Melbourne, they go out and he kicks none. 0 goals, 2. So he's had his opportunities. But I think tonight he's going to go out and kick 2. So Charlie Cameron for 2 is in there.
Yep.
Hugh McCluggage.
I like it. He kicks a lot of goals at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, he does.
He's kicked quite a lot of goals at Adelaide Oval.
That's huge for me.
Yeah.
Did he used to play at Adelaide?
He did used to play at Adelaide. Yeah, he had a few years at Adelaide.
His old home ground.
Yeah, so he'll bob up a few.
Hugh McCluggage is winning their best and fairest by a long way.
Yep.
Tonight. Not just
tonight, but
at this point of the season.
Yep.
I've got him as my AFL fantasy vice captain. He dominated, had 152 fantasy points last week, and I didn't have him in there.
Oh,
as in, I just had him as my normal player.
Yep.
If I had him in VC, I would have won. Anyway, he's going to have 25 touches tonight.
Yeah.
He had 40 last week. He had 40 of touches of the ball last week. He will go out and have 25 with 1 leg in the air.
Yep.
Tonight.
Yep. I think you put him there.
No one's going to tag him. He's just going to go around. He'll accumulate the ball. He uses it really well, and he'll go nuts.
Yep.
I'll tell you who does, he's a bit of a tag, not a tagger, but more of a stopper for Brisbane. Who do you think? Do you remember that guy? His name's Josh. He wears number 5.
Oh.
Josh Dunkley?
Yeah, Dunkley, thank you.
Yeah. So Jai Caldwell last week for Essendon had 18 touches in the third quarter, and Dunkley went to him in the last. I think he had 3 times.
Yeah.
He might have touched it 3 times. He is a tackle pig, Josh Dunkley. A tackle
okay.
pig.
We're going tackles?
This is the first time.
This
is the first time we've done it. We've gone exotic. We're going to throw an exotic market in there. And I think the reason I'm going to say this, so he had 7 tackles last week.
Yep.
But he had 6 in the last quarter, or 5 in the last quarter because he went to Caldwell. I think he goes to Jordan Dawson from the start tonight. I think he goes to Jordan Dawson and rides him all game.
Yep.
So I think he's going to get a lot of tackles.
Okay.
I think he's going to have 8 or more tackles tonight.
Yeah, okay. I don't hate it. I
so
don't hate
this
that
bet,
at all.
this is we've gone a bit rogue here.
Yep.
So
yeah,
typically
definitely.
we do touches. This week we've gone Charlie Cameron for 2 or more.
Yep.
We've gone Hugh McCluggage for at least 25 disposals, and we've gone Josh Dunkley to make at least 8 tackles.
I like it.
I love that a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
I love that a lot. And
really
if you
like
look on
the
there and
tackles
you think you're going to get $9 for that,
yeah,
you're kidding yourself because it might be more. But yeah, I think I'm liking to dabble in these exotic markets a bit because TABtouch offer a few of these. We are due a win, and $9 will be a great one for us.
Oh, it'll be really good.
Anyway, obviously gamble as responsibly as you can, and for free and confidential support, call 1-800-858-858 or visit gamblingheleponline.org.au.
Gamblinghelponline.org.au. You got it, mate. Yeah, you're so close.
Anyway, I'll get that one day.
Little super comment.
Oh, super comment. Also, that's free money, by the way.
Yeah, it is free money. Yeah,
continue. Super comment.
Brandon Cavallaro, thoughts on West Coast Eagles versus North?
Brandon.
Look, we're going to get into this, and we may as well do it now.
May as well do it right now. Hit me with the boners.
Oh no! Don't get a boner! No!
It's too late. I've got a boner.
It's too late.
I am ready to go. Was there anything that arrived for me, by the way, in the mail?
Nothing yet.
Damn it. Is it where can we go to the PO box? Because I'm pretty sure there's something there for me.
Is there?
Someone from the bonus sent me something.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll ask Dan.
You give me two. You talk about this game, and I will sort that out.
Can you check on the PO box?
Absolutely.
How do you check that?
Dan.
Okay.
I'll just message
Anyway,
Dan.
this game starts in about 2 days' time. It's down in Bunbury. It's a North Melbourne home game. North versus West Coast. West Coast have started to play well. Like, they are ticking along. But North Melbourne are the best team in the competition. It's going to be a battle of 17th versus 18th. The loser of this game, I think, I think the loser of this game will win the wooden spoon, because I think West Coast will lose this game and win the wooden spoon. But it's just a perfect storm. Both teams, I think if you had have had this game at, where everyone thought West Coast was going to be, and it was like 6 games they'd already won already, and North had been shit, it'd have been like, oh, whatever, we're going down to Bunbury. But because both teams suck, they're going down there, and it's going to be a battle of 18th and 17th, and it's exciting. Everyone's looking forward to this. Both teams are gearing up for what they think is a really winnable game. North are here for 2 weeks, so they've been here acclimatising to WA. It's been shit weather, apparently.
Yeah,
it's been
shit
raining
weather.
all week.
It's just been pissing down.
But they're getting used to WA because they have West Coast now and then Freo next week. But it's a massive game. Dan and I have got a bit on the line here. So I was talking to...
You do.
I was
do you
talking
want to run us through that?
So we had this bet, and so I'm doing triple... I'm going to be down there. So obviously we've got beers with BackChat tomorrow night at Shelter Brewing. I don't think it's beers with BackChat. I think it's just we're just going to be there having a few beers.
BackChat will be there.
BackChat will
and
be
we'll
there
be
having
drinking beers. So it's beers with BackChat, kind of.
Yeah, we're not going to do we're not doing a live show or anything,
No, it's not a live show.
Yeah, we're just going to be there.
We're just going to be there sinking beers.
Yeah, having beers. Maybe a couple of pizzas or something. I don't know. Whatever Shelter want to put on.
You say pizza to me, mate.
Yeah.
I'll get a pizza.
Yeah, may as well get a pizza.
Absolutely get
But
a
anyway,
pizza.
I will...
Rude not to get a pizza, mate. It'd be rude not to get a pizza.
At this point, if we don't get a pizza tomorrow, it's going to be stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be stupid.
It'll be stupid.
And especially if we don't get a pizza and a beer tomorrow...
Nah. We have
Day's ruined, mate.
The day will be ruined. So
I'm
feel like...
playing footy tomorrow.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow. But then you'll go and have a pizza.
And then I'll go and I'll have pizza and a beer, yeah. Anyway, sorry, mate. Your tattoo.
So Dan and I, we're going to have some beers down there tomorrow. I'm then working the game. I'm doing boundary commentary for Triple M. And so I'm going to be at the ground. So is Dan. Everyone's going to be down there.
Actually, no, Dan's not going to be there.
Oh, Dan's not going to be there?
No, so you didn't hear about this on Monday.
No, what
But
happened?
I'll tell you this. So Dan doesn't want to go to the game because it's a North home game and he doesn't want to drive back to Perth after the game. So he's going to skip the game.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I guess that checks out because West Coast are going to win and you don't want to drive home after your team
yeah.
lose. Anyway, so we had this bet. A while back, I said that West Coast should adopt... Port Adelaide do the Never Tear Us Apart. I said West Coast should adopt the Pojo. Pants off, jocks on. To Eagle Rock before the game and to Eagle Rock if they win. Pojo. Pants off, jocks on. Sometimes you can get confused with pants off, jocks off.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No,
Pants
you don't
on,
wanna
jocks
get
off. You
confused.
can do, but it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's odd.
Pants on, pants off, jacks off. You can't do that.
No,
definitely.
you can't do that.
So it's
That's
important to get your ons and offs right. But
Pants on, jacks
pants
off,
off,
still no.
jocks on. Pojo. Now, Dan said to me, the bet was, I said, I'd literally do anything. And he said, righto, if West Coast win and they play Eagle Rock, you have to do Pojo on the boundary. Which I said, that might
How does that go for you?
How does that go at a official working capacity at an AFL game? I'm not sure.
Are you going to find out?
Well, I have since spoken to Em, and she said, so she works at West Coast. She's an operations manager there, or I think that's her role.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, she has informed me that will not happen. Like, even if West Coast win, because it's a North Melbourne home game, they'll play the song, but they won't play Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock is only at a West Coast home game if they win.
Okay.
So there'll be no Pojo, which reverted to the second part of our bet, which is the losing team. So whoever loses has to get a tattoo of the winning animal on their ass. So if North Melbourne win, Dan gets a kangaroo tattooed on his ass. If West Coast win, I have to get an eagle tattooed on my ass. Now it works in two ways. Dan has more tattoos than me, so it wouldn't be uncommon for him to just go and get another one.
You do have a fresh tattoo.
I have. Well, it's not really fresh. I got it a while ago. It's just there on my. Where's my foot?
Where's your foot?
Yeah, it's tough to see. Anyway, but I also played one game, so like it would be ironically funny, I think, for me to have an eagle on my ass, being like, "Yeah, I'm an eagle for life."
Yeah, it would be very good.
I think that would be quite funny. But I'm pretty confident North will win this game. Like looking at it from an actual game point of view, West Coast have got a better list. No, they don't. Sorry, North Melbourne have got a better list. I think West Coast have got some star players, and then not a lot. And they've got some youngsters. North have got young stars, and then a couple of senior guys that are playing better than they would have expected, which is nice.
Yeah, standing up.
North should have smashed them in the game down there in the preseason. They kicked 1 goal 11 or something before they kicked their second goal. It was crazy. Yeah. So they should have won that game by 10 goals. They didn't. They lost.
Should have, but didn't. You know, things that should have happened don't always
exactly.
happen.
But I just think this is going to be a walkover for them. Who's going to stop Tristan Sherry? I ask you that.
Bailey Williams has been really good.
Bailey Williams has been very good, and he's a very good player, but he's not the second best ruck in the comp.
No, that's true.
You know, I think
Tristan Sherry has been good.
Tristan Sherry's been really good.
Very good. Could be due a bad game.
Could be.
Could be
West
due a bad game.
West Coast just don't have they can't match him. They can't match him for speed. They can't match him for skill. They can't match him for everything. We're North by 40. North by 40.
I don't like it.
Nah.
I've tipped the Eagles.
Have you?
I think they're going to win. I think.
Do you want to jump in on the bet with Dan?
Get a eagle tattoo on my ass.
Get a kangaroo tattoo on your ass.
Kangaroo tat on my ass.
We can do a different bet. We don't have to do that bet.
I'm happy to do a different bet. I've done a tattoo bet before and I've lost, so
that hurts. What would you? So you're thinking West Coast will win?
I think West Coast will win. I think it'll be a close game.
I know North Melbourne will win. Yeah. So what do you want to propose? Because I'm happy. I mean, I'm getting a tattoo if West Coast win anyway. I don't want to get 2 eagles on my ass. That would be pretty weird.
That would be weird.
I'll come up with something.
We'll come up with something. We'll have a think on it.
Yeah.
By the end of this pod, I reckon we'll...
Or not even. Like, before the game. Because we're going to be down there tomorrow night having some pizzas.
We will. Yep.
We'll have some pizzas tomorrow night.
We'll have some pizzas, some beers, and we'll come up with a bet.
Let's come up with a bet before. Yeah, and I'll put it on. I'll put it on social media.
All right. I like that.
What else have we got?
I've got a couple of things for you.
Any YouTube comments before we get to whatever you've got for me? Because I feel like we've touched on one super comment.
Foz Jam, who is a loyal member of the YouTube chat, says it's absolutely pissing down in Adelaide at the moment.
Yeah.
So wet footy.
Wet footy. That's a Josh Dunkley tackle special.
Yeah, that's a great for our bet. The Brayshaws are a union family. Rugby?
Yeah, we were union. We're union guys.
Scotty Boy says, haha, crack up. Kane's so good that every other person wants to talk about him.
I reckon
he nailed 80% of that list.
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
I actually think
I like
Kane.
Kane. I like him a lot.
I think some of the things he says is just like so stupid.
Yeah.
But like I know what he's doing and he does a great job at it.
Dude, I think he's really good at his job and I like a lot of his takes and I dislike a lot of his takes. I think you're allowed to call someone out for having a bad take.
Oh, you're allowed.
And Kane would understand that because that's why he's done the list. Yeah, Sheezy Paul. Sheezy Ball. I actually have something for you, mate. So I've got a little hypothetical for you.
I'm happy with this.
We've done a few of these before, but I thought this is one that I saw. It came across my social media feed, and I thought, what would Hammer do? So it was, and I don't have a set of cards in front of me, but it is a blackjack hand. You got one blackjack hand.
Yep.
If you win the hand against the dealer, you get $1 billion.
Oh my god.
Or
best game ever.
Do you take $1 million right now?
Wow. That is a really good question. Do I take $1 million right now or do a blackjack hand to win $1 billion?
$1 billion.
I think I do a blackjack hand.
All right, brilliant. Let's do a blackjack hand, mate.
Well, if you think about it, because we will, yep.
Yeah, we will.
$1 million, just taking $1 million, you're 100% guaranteed at $1 million, which is great.
Yes. You get $1 million, which is great. You set yourself up a bit.
But also,
a lot.
The odds for that bet, for it to be, like if you're thinking of blackjack, so a lot of players that will play casino games.
Do you want to change it to 10 million?
So I'm just elaborating on the
Sorry,
billion.
mate. I'm getting ahead of myself.
So what will happen is a lot of times when people play poker or, play cards, the odds have to be right for them to agree to a bet. And in this case, for the odds to be, so from $1 million to $1 billion is 1,000 million. So you have to be, I think it's like, you have to be right. if it's won a couple of times, if you're more than once in a million, once in 1,000 times, it's like might be worth it. I think I'm on the right track.
Yep.
But anyway, this is a 50-50 chance. Well, a little bit less. So
So
the house
odds
has
of
like a
winning
52% chance.
for you
Yeah.
is 42%. The odds of the
Well,
dealer winning is 49. Apparently, the remaining 9% results in ties.
Okay, but that will go up if you play by the book.
Correct.
Like
So-
if you know how to play blackjack, which I do, I think I know, not to the letter of the law, but I've got a pretty good understanding of how to play it. That will go up a little bit. So, I think at $1 billion, you'd be fiscally irresponsible to not go for it. And even at 10 million, I think you have to roll the dice there a bit.
I think the guaranteed
$1 million.
Yeah, the guaranteed is very nice. Let's bump it up to. Let's go 10 mil, because I think 10 mil is enough money for where it's
10 million
genuinely
10
proper
million,
life changing.
yeah,
Like you
so-
can move.
well,
into
$1 million's
house.
life-changing.
$1 million is as well, but like I think
I would
$1 million
take-
you'd probably stay. You continue working. You'd
I would
like
take
do
10,
that.
I would take 10 million. I
You would
wouldn't
take
I,
10.
I wouldn't roll the dice on $1 billion blackjack hand for the 10 million. I'd be happy at 10. But for one versus $1 billion, I'd do the $1 billion. Anyway,
Let's go.
So that's instead of $100, that's meant to be $1 million with a chance to win $1 billion.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. Click and deal.
Oh, that's a good start.
All
And I
right.
just
Dealer's got a 2. You have 15.
double it. No, don't hit. I stand there.
You stand?
Yep, I stand there and hope for a bust.
All right, you're standing on 15.
4,
Dealer has 4, 11,
19.
19.
Perfect. I'm dead.
You lost.
Oh no!
This is like the other week when I got like 9 years to live for $9 million or something, and you were living for another 80 years.
Oh no! I've lost.
To start with 2.
Shit.
Oh,
All
mate.
right, what would you have done?
All right, I would have.
Oh, you would have gone for it. Yeah, go on. Jaiden's
Let's
gone for it.
go.
Oh, of course, you got a 20.
Oh, yeah, stand. Fuck off! What?
If you're only listening, Jaiden got a 20. The dealer went 7, 8, 6, 21. Jaiden's lost everything. He'd already spent his $1 billion.
I'd spent $1 billion, mate. I'd already bought everything.
Oh, that is a good giggle.
Wow.
It's a great hypothetical. We just
I'm
both-
so sick of
How did
losing
you
these
lose that?
hypotheticals, mate.
How did you lose that?
It wasn't up to me.
Wow.
I don't know.
That is an incredible loss.
Oh.
20 plays a 7 to lose.
Wow.
Anyway, so that was a fun hypothetical.
All right, so I'm never gambling ever.
Yeah,
Again. Like, that's just not
What
for
time
me.
does this game start? By the way,
5:40?
5:40 is
We've
it?
got another 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay. I'll probably go in a sec. What else have we got? Anything else on YouTube before we just duck off? If you're going to be in
West Coast will win this game.
No.
Get a W tattooed on each ass cheek.
No, they're not going to win that.
If Hammer has to colour his hair blue and gold if West Coast win.
I could spray paint it. Hairspray it. I won't give it a colouring.
We'll think of something. We'll think of
We'll
something. If
we'll
you've got
think
any
of something.
suggestions, message them through to
Yeah,
Hammer's
message 'em
Happy Hour
through.
on Instagram or put them in the YouTube chat.
Yep.
We'll come up with something.
Yeah.
I did have one thing for you.
Yeah, go for it. While you're getting that up, if you're going to be in if you're going to be in Bustleton tomorrow night, get to the Shelter Brewing Co.
Oh, absolutely.
Have
Get
some
to the
beers,
Shelter Brewing
have
Co.
some pizzas, and enjoy a bit of time because we'll be down there. But anyway, what have
Absolutely.
you got for us?
I saw this thing on Instagram as well. More social media stuff.
We're playing blackjack again.
Yeah, we're playing blackjack again
Okay.
for 100
What
mil.
have you got?
There's this guy on Instagram. I don't know if you've seen him. He sent it through. It's been sent through to Hammer's Happy Hour on Instagram a couple times. Basically, there's a guy, his TV screen behind him, playing a Harry Potter movie. He's sitting facing away from the screen. They play like a second of audio from Harry Potter.
And he guesses.
And he guesses who says it, where it's from, like what movie.
I can do that.
You want to do that?
Yep.
All right. I've got a sound for you.
Can I see the visual or no?
No,
Eyes
you
closed.
can't see the visual.
So,
You won't be able to see it. You can open your eyes.
Okay.
I'll just play the sound, and you got to tell me where it's from.
Hang on, let me put both headphones in.
Yeah, lock in, mate. I don't know if this is good or not, but this is
Yeah. All right.
great music. All right, ready?
Yep. So I get 1 second of this
You
audio.
get 1 second of audio.
That's cool. Happy.
I'm
Let's
just going
go.
to play it, and we're going to go.
Righto.
Harry Potter.
That's Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
Correct.
So Harry Potter's name's been pulled out. Dumbledore's just read it for the first time.
Correct.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, let's find another one.
Go again. That is Ron going with the acromantula.
No.
What?
It's Harry doing it.
Oh, sorry, not. Yeah, no, I thought Ron. Yeah, no. Yep, you're right.
I know where you
meant,
were with it.
yeah,
I know
I
where
meant
you
to
were
say
with it.
Harry, but I was thinking of Ron. That's
Yep.
okay. That's fine.
To come here tonight, Tom.
That's in the Order of the Phoenix when Dumbledore comes out of the flu system, and he said, "You shouldn't have come here tonight, Tom. The Auras are already on their way. By which time I shall be gone and you shall be dead." Anyway.
Correct.
Thank you.
Very dear friend, and I'd just fancy paying.
That's
See if we can
Harry.
get this one
That's
again.
Harry talking to Slughorn, and Slughorn's clipping those little weeds. He's talking about going to see Hagrid. He's had the liquid luck, and he's on his way down.
Correct.
In the sixth one. In
Well
Half-Blood
done.
Prince. Thank you. Dumbledore's dead. Dumbledore's dead. No?
No, this is
Oh.
Snape holding Lily.
Yeah. Well, do they say they might? Are you sure they don't do the same song?
I think they do the same song, so I'll give you it.
I reckon they might do
There
the
was
same
meant to be a
song.
voice there, so
Oh,
that's
okay.
I'm just clicking through a video.
That's okay.
Look who's here.
That is Dudley at the park in the Order of the Phoenix.
No.
Go
incorrect.
again.
I'll play it again.
Yeah.
Look who's here.
Oh, is that? Look who's here. Is that Crabbe and Goyle and Malfoy on the way up in Prisoner of Azkaban?
Correct.
Yeah, there you
mate.
go.
Well done.
Sounds
All
pretty
right,
similar.
That's good. Yeah, it does sound very similar.
That's okay.
Hear a bit of Dudley there. That's good, mate. I think we'll end it there. unless
Yeah,
you
I'm pretty. I think
I'm
I've
pretty
done
happy with that. Like you've
with-
done very well
in
there.
1 second a piece.
Yeah.
That's pretty handy. I'll
Pretty
take
good.
that. What's on tonight? Just going home, watch footy.
Going home, watch a footy. Got a bit more work to do here, so cut some
disappointing.
things up. And then
Did Dan get back to you on the PO box?
He
or not?
did. He said no,
what?
nothing. So might be
Disappointing.
a Schofield message.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I'll just wait. I'm sure it'll come.
But that's all right.
I'm sure it will arrive.
Yeah. No, I've got not much on tonight. Bit of work. Go home, watch a footy.
Nice.
Then weekend, obviously. Be
Yep.
playing tomorrow. I've
Yeah,
done
who
my
you got?
ankle.
You've done your ankle.
Yeah.
Are you still playing on it?
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yeah, just strap it up. It'll be fine.
Perfect.
I'm not fucking missing this game.
Nah, who have you got?
Kingsley, my best mate, plays for Kingsley.
Yeah,
we'll
big
be going up against each other. He's also done his ankle.
Okay, perfect.
So we might just sit in the middle of the field.
Just take it easy on each other.
Yeah, I think we're going to
Yeah.
tag each other, so no
Yeah.
possessions either way, which would
That's
be
good.
quite
Happy with
good.
that.
Yeah,
Is he
very
playing
good.
in the ruck as well?
No, I'll be playing centre half forward.
That's huge.
'cause
Might
the
go out
ankle.
and kick it. Jaiden +2. Add that to the TABtouch mob.
Thanks, mate. I got to kick him straight first.
Yeah, that's true.
And then Sunday.
Saturday night,
straight
pizzas
after
and
that,
beers,
Saturday
and then
night, pizzas and beers. It'd be rude not
Yeah.
to do that. So
and then
go
North
and
to
do
get
that.
it done Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I got 2 tickets to the Eagles game. I'm looking for one more. So
Okay.
if anyone's
Someone's
got a spare ticket in the chat,
someone will find one.
yeah, I've got one.
All right. Well,
What about you, mate?
No, that's what am I doing tonight? Going home, watching the footy. Tomorrow I will be. I'm going to go for a run in the morning, and then I'm going to head to just pretty much do nothing all day, and then drive down to Bustleton tomorrow night.
Great.
And then Sunday at the game, do some commentary, and then come back up. But yeah, put the feet back up, relax a little bit, and just enjoy myself.
Great. All right. Well,
Yeah.
brilliant, mate.
Hey,
I'll see you tomorrow
good
for
to be
pizzas
back.
and beers.
So yeah, I had to cut my holiday short to come back for this, obviously, and it
Well,
was
yeah,
worth
you
it.
didn't
Yeah.
have to, but
I didn't have
you
to, but I
wanted
did.
to do it because you were
'Cause,
locked
yeah,
in.
I was so locked in,
Yeah.
and I'll see
And you'd
everyone
seen
tomorrow
all the
for
big
pizzas
five.
and beers. Right up. See ya.